Veterans Town Board Work Session of Monday, August 18th, 2025. We'd like to begin the meeting with a Pledge of Allegiance. If you would please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, we have a couple presentations today. The first presentation we have is a Purple Heart proclamation. I'm going to welcome our speakers. Who's speaking?
Last meeting we did recognize that was Purple Heart Month. So today we are honored to introduce our Military Order of the Purple Heart, the local chapter, Mr. Ward, Senior Vice Commander, and Chaplain Tom Mack. As they make their way to the podium, I just want to acknowledge yesterday's incredibly well-attended Veterans Wall Memorial. Several of the members who were memorialized on the wall were Purple Heart recipients. One of them, and maybe it was a guest, lost that hat. So if anybody's missing a hat from last Sunday, it's here on the left. I wanted to acknowledge that as well. But thank you so much for being here. We did the proclamation last month, but we'd love to hear your presentation, please.
Thank you very much for inviting us. We're glad to make a representation for this very patriotic gesture on your part. And we really did not rehearse this. I thought you were going to read the proclamation.
Happy to read it. I read it last month. I'm happy to read it again with you guys here. So let me go ahead and read it for you. Nope, I got one right here. So the town of Amherst is proud to honor and support the veterans and active members of the military throughout the year during holidays, ceremonies, and special events. One such designation is Purple Heart Day on August 7th, which is extended throughout August as Purple Heart Month. The town of Amherst has been recognized as a Purple Heart community since 2022. The Purple Heart is the oldest military decoration in present use, initially created as the badge of military merit by General Washington in 1782. The Purple Heart was the first American Service Award or decoration made available to the common soldier and is specifically awarded to members of all United States Armed Forces who have been wounded or paid the ultimate sacrifice in combat with the declared enemy of the United States of America. The mission of the Military Order of the Purple Heart is to honor those who were killed during wartime, foster an environment of goodwill among combat wounded members and their families, promote patriotism, support legislative initiatives, and most importantly, make sure we never forget the many decorated soldiers and veterans, including Purple Heart recipients. The town of Amherst shows its appreciation for their sacrifices of the Purple Heart recipients, as more than 1 million military personnel have been killed and millions have more been wounded in combat defending the principles and freedoms of the United States of America. The town of Amherst honors the sacrifices of all Purple Heart recipients who defended our freedoms and believes it is important that we acknowledge them for their courage and show them the honor and respect they have earned. Now, for be it resolved, the town of Amherst recognizes August as Purple Heart Month in honor of all Purple Heart recipients and to promote the importance of supporting veterans and their families. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And on behalf of myself and all Purple Heart recipients, I want to thank you very much. And I want to present this Purple Heart flag as a backup for the one that you have. So thank you very much. And I don't know, Tom, if you want to say something.
Sean basically has taken most of my thunder away. He did a great job at the history. I just want to continue the history a little bit. But first of all, I'd just love to thank you guys, the Board of Amherst, for recognizing the members of the Purple Heart Association. Anyways, you got everything right until we got to the World War II and that. 1932 is when they brought this medal back in. It had been dormant from the time of the Revolutionary War. And as you were saying, it came about by General Washington because the common soldier basically got nothing. No, there were very few awards that they were receiving. Well, they brought it back. General Douglas MacArthur was the chief of staff at the time, and he had it them design the award, the medal, and it had its struck, and it became, it was given to all the wounded and or killed members of the U.S. Army at first. And once World War II started, though, they said, you know, we've got to give this to everybody, and that's what they did. Then the Navy, the Marines, and the Army Air Corps, anyone that was wounded or killed in combat received that award. Back then, they would on the back of if anybody, somebody was telling me here that their grandfather, Brian, you were saying that your grandfather, you to check on the back of it, it should have his name on it. And that's what they were doing back then. They were actually writing their names on the back, and so you can look at those and you'll see those World War II members. Also, it would carry it over into the Korean War and some early members in Vietnam. But since then, it's all been all services. If you're combat wounded or killed, everyone would receive the Purple Heart. And I thank you for honoring and it's great to see this. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you both. I think
I'll have to make it quick.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a presentation about Willowdale Park. Troy Schinzel is here from the Erie County, is the Commissioner of Parks for Erie County. He's here to deliver a presentation about what the county's plans for the park would be. And Troy, thank you very much for joining us and for taking on the effort to this point to prepare this and go from there.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate it. And before we get going, I want to introduce also Nicole Roberto. She's the Deputy Commissioner of Recreation for Erie County Parks. We'll be splitting the presentation this afternoon. And before we get into the conceptual plan for Willowdale Park, I think it's important for everyone to understand who we are, what we do. So I'll be covering that. I've been fortunate enough to be the Commissioner of Parks on and off since 2012. So I've been around for a little while, and we're excited about this proposed project. So first of all, I think it's important to see our mission. This is our mission. This is from our master plan, and this fits right with the narrative of where we're heading with Willowdale Park. You'll see in here, without reading the entire thing, we really are about natural environment areas and an alternative to localized park settings. Typically, towns and municipalities provide active recreation, ball fields, diamonds, sports complexes. We don't typically do that. We fill that other niche, the environmental niche. Obviously provide residents the opportunity to enjoy recreational year-round pursuits. We're open 365 days a year, winter sports in the winter, obviously, depending on what winter, and opportunities all summer long. To protect regionally important areas of scenic, environmental, and cultural heritage significance. That really rings true to Willowdale/Westwood. That property has both the scenic, environmental, and the cultural heritage significance. And to contribute to the vitality of the county, of course, and promote public awareness and resources. And I guess that's why I'm here today, to do that. A little bit about us. We have about 10,000 acres of property we operate and maintain. It's over 35 properties, 114 rentable shelters, 13 rentable buildings, 123 campsites, 46 restroom facilities. And we are now at 92 full-time staff, and 74 of those are blue collar. That's just a snapshot of Erie County Parks and where we are. These two documents, we spent some years providing our 2018-19 master plan, which we follow, adhere to. That is our living document that we kind of helps guide us as we move forward. And our wayfinding, our Erie County Parks wayfinding and signage manual, which we're halfway through right now of rebranding our entire department to be more concise, clear, from park to park, golf course to golf course, beach to beach. Just a little bit of breakdown about, again, I think it's important to see what we do and where we are. There's some snapshots of our current operating budget, our 2025 operating adopted budget, but the previous 3-4 years from 2023, the adopted budget, adjusted budget. But we are, obviously with 95 full-time people, our personnel services close to $9 million, $10 million on an annual basis alone, and park staff that operate, maintain our 10,000 acres. And our capital budget. I did a 5-year snapshot from 2020 to 2024 of some of our most used capital accounts. You'll see ranging from anywhere from almost $19 million to $550,000 on annual amenities. We have a pretty healthy capital budget, which allows us to obviously take care of capital projects, but continue to build and maintain our park areas. Some of the things we do, obviously dredging at our golf courses is one of the things we recently done. This past year, repaving our cart paths at our golf courses, doing our irrigation and bunker work at our golf courses, lower right, and building an accessible fishing pier at Chestnut Ridge Park. Very, very close and near accessible playgrounds. We spent a lot of funding in the last 3 to 4 years on accessible playgrounds all around Erie County parks. Pickleball is huge, fastest growing sport, so we're renovating our tennis courts into exclusive pickleball courts and tennis courts countywide. And you'll see that the building on the lower right is considered one of the oldest stone structures in the city of Buffalo. We just had a ribbon cutting of that last year, so renovating historic and old buildings is one of the things we do. Along with that building, which has turned out beautiful, it's going to be our History for the Parks Museum. We're currently on a big project with the Went Mansion down in Evans, and that's another $6-7 million project as well we're currently involved in. So I'll turn it over to Nicole to talk about, I talked about who we are. Nicole will kind of talk about our conceptual plan and where we think we want to head with Willowdale.
Thank you. So as you can see here, this is our conceptual plan. It is certainly not final, but the idea is that there would be 3 distinct areas. The dark green would be the 9-hole golf course. We will be restoring 7 of the original 9 holes. Willowdale was originally a 9-hole course. The bright green indicates the passive park, which will include walking trails, educational signage, viewing areas, and benches. By definition, a passive park is focused on low-impact recreational activities. The town has plenty of sports parks and diamonds, and this is for enjoying nature, for walking, for picnicking. That is what a passive park is. Our master plan update for Willowdale will help guide us as to considering any other amenities in that area of the park. And the grayed out area shows what the town would be developing, which could include a playground, public restrooms, parking, and special event space. So this is a map of Erie County, and you can see all of the county parks spread out throughout the county. There is not currently a county park in the town of Amherst. So this would fill a gap in the Erie County Park system, would bring another county park to the North Towns, the first county park to Amherst, and Amherst residents are county taxpayers, and it would preserve green space for future generations. This is not an opportunity that comes around very often. And by protecting this green space, we would be preserving it for our grandchildren and hopefully their grandchildren. And lastly, it would provide a space for all users with various interests. It's not just a golf course, it's not just a playground. There will be something that everybody can enjoy at this site. So the Erie County Legislature has already approved a resolution and $6.89 million in funding, as you can see here. And that funding will cover the renovation of the golf course and pro shop, which would include public restrooms. The county employs more than 5,000 people across dozens of departments. So we have a lot of resources that we bring to our projects. A few of those that will be very involved in this project if it goes forward are the Department of Environment and Planning. And within that department, they have a Green Team initiative, which has helped us obtain some electric golf carts. We have a lot of existing relationships and agreements with contractors and partners like Western New York Prism and the Land Conservancy. We have our own park ranger program, which is pretty unique in this area. We have 7 rangers currently. They patrol, they provide educational programming, guided hikes, fishing, all sorts of things like that. They also work closely with our sheriff's department, the Department of Public Works, the legal department, and many others. So that's all we have in our presentation, but if there's any questions, we're happy to answer them.
Questions from the board?
Hi there, Commissioner Schenzel, nice to see you, and nice to see you, Deputy Commissioner, as well, and meet you. Just to confirm, I know you said it, but of the 10,000 acres that the county park system currently maintains, 0 are in the town of Amherst. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. There may be a fine line at the dog park section of Ellicott Creek Park, but not Ellicott Creek Park. So
Right.
part of it is the dog park, but this would be the full, and this side, ironically enough, the size of this park is about the size of Ellicott Creek Park, which is one of our heritage parks.
Yes, love Ellicott Creek. Was just at Akron Falls a couple weeks ago with the kids. The falls are very dry, but it was still a wonderful hike. So again, you know, the town of Amherst has nearly a little over 13% of county residents, but of the $11.5 million of county share taxes, currently none of them really maintain any acreage here in Amherst, but this would give us a share of that county pot.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, we're already committed almost $7 million. I will just tell you alone, in perpetuity, about $1 million in salary and fringe with the staff we're going to need to run these operations.
Wonderful.
That's every year moving forward, no less than that. And at the end of the day, once it is dedicated parkland, it goes nowhere. You got to go through the state. It's parkland forever. And we're excited because obviously it fills a niche for us as well. And the area will definitely benefit from that.
I love the county parks. I think you guys do a great job. Just thank you for confirming those two things for me.
Thank you.
I won't hold you to this, but I am curious. When do you think someone might actually be able to play on the golf course?
May 1st of what year, I guess is the question. Most likely 2027. If we got on the ground a few months ago, we could have probably got on a golf course open in 2026. By the time we're legally able to get on the ground and do work, I could see we're going to need a season to grow and a season to get established. I could see 2027.
Anything further? I know that there's a lot of work that's been going on behind the scenes to enable this to be possible, and I know that the county has some good long-term vision for this site. So I just want to thank you both and thank your departments for being accessible and taking time to put together a lot of work with our staffs. Good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll just add, it's a partnership. I want to stress this is a partnership. We have partnerships all across Erie County. This is not Amherst versus Erie County. We're working together to make this site accessible for all. So, thank you.
Yep, I appreciate that. Thank you. All right, next items on our agenda are the board meeting agenda items and potential consent agenda. So I'm going to go through those. We do have one item. Tonight's meeting will be in memory of David Mishler. I'll read a little bit about that later on. But the Mishler family is it's a kind of quintessential Amherst and Williamsville family, and we will miss David and certainly wish our best to his relatives. We have public hearing this evening on the wastewater treatment facilities equipment and vehicle bond resolution, so we'll hold that. I also have a resolution on public hearing on 2577, which is Millersport Highway rezoning. So we'll schedule that. We'll have that as well this evening. Sean, is that you? I don't remember. Jeff. Okay, it's Jeff. Resolution 703 under development actions will be dealing with seeker on South Linden, and then resolution 629 will be the adoption of the zoning to move forward on South Linden. The items that we have for potential consent agenda include resolution 704, which is approved travel for a conference. Any reason not to include that in the consent agenda? Resolution 705, Deputy Supervisor Lavin, you have for camera replacement and portable radio batteries. Any questions about that resolution? Any reason to not include it in consent? Resolution 706 is Senior Center LED lighting. It's a bond resolution in the amount of 180,000. That one's voice. Is that voice? It's a yeah. Okay. And seeker. Then resolution 707 is a pool splash park safety resurfacing bond resolution. Also voice. Both of those items are items we'd like to get done in the near future. Resolution 708 is a notice of public hearing on proposed sale of real property to the town of Amherst Development Corporation. I ask for this to also be for this evening, but that is,
That doesn't.
it's a public hearing, you're right, sorry. Any reason not to schedule a public hearing via consent? Resolution 709 is a PSA for North Forest, and 385 and 391 Maple. We'll be setting a public hearing. Any reason not to do that via consent? Resolution 710 is an IMA on 772 North Forest, 385 and 391 Maple, CRS 5773. Any questions about that resolution? Any reason not to include that in consent? Resolution 711 is a request for public hearing on a local law amending Chapter 4 Administration of Government. Any questions regarding the request for a public hearing? Any reason not to set that via consent? Resolution 712 is the Gettsville Fire Company refinancing tax exempt bonds, appointment of hearing officer. Any questions about the appointment? Any reason not to do that via consent? This is Gettsville Fire specifically, not Amherst bonding, but we are responsible for setting the appointment of hearing officer. Okay, we'll do that via consent. Resolution 713 is amusement license for a community bank. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason not to grant that via consent? Resolution 714 is a new firefighter for Gettsville Fire Company. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason not to do that via consent? Resolution 715 is the utility gas line upgrade for Senior Center, CRS 5763. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason not to do that via consent? Resolution 716 is a contract for central alarm and police recording equipment, CRS 5761. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason not to do that via consent? Resolution 717 is budget transfers and amendments. Are there any questions about those? Any reason not to include them in consent? Resolution 718 is an award of bid 2025027 for Motorola radio replacements and service, CRS 5747. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason not to grant it via consent? Resolution 719 is approval proposal from Trinconi, Segura and Associates for accounting assistance in the Comptroller's Office, CRS 5751. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 720 is awarded bid 2025028 for Pentair Myers submersible pumps and service, CRS 5758. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 721 is amendment to Bill 2025018 for police vehicles, CRS 5762. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 722 is an award bid 2025005 cafe operations at the Amherst Center for Senior Services, CRS 5769. Any questions regarding the award? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 723 is an awarded bid for the Pineview Drive Waterline Replacement Project 2025 to 2030 CIP Project E4 TOA Project Number 2016.061. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 724 is an award of bid for Cimarron Drive Waterline Replacements Project 2025 to 2030, CIP Project E4 for Town of Amherst, project number 2025.014. Any questions regarding that award? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 725 is an extension of wellness program contract, CRS 5745. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold that from consent? Resolution 726 is a recreation attendant, part-time, youth and recreation. Any questions regarding the appointment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 727 is recreation, part-time, youth and recreation. Any questions regarding that appointment? Any reason to withhold that from consent? Resolution 728 is school crossing guard, part-time, police department. Any questions regarding the appointment? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 729 is a school crossing guard, part-time, police department. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 730 is a lieutenant of detectives and police department. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 731 is a sidewalk waiver request, SWW-025-02, 1101 Niagara Falls Boulevard. Any questions regarding the resolution?
Yes, I'd like to hold this for the board meeting. We had an updated email communication and recommendation from Chris Schregel in engineering today.
Great. Resolution 732 is resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign a grant application materials and submit an application to New York State Affordable Housing Corporation not to exceed $300,000 in funding for a housing rehabilitation matching grant to assist in target neighborhoods. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 733 is the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant Agreement, CRS 5741, Crisis Intervention Program, New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services, NYS DCJS. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 734 is a Digital Surveillance Systems, DSS, CRS 5770, Northtown Center Analog Camera Replacements. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 735 is a memorandum of understanding for the Peanut Line Parallel Interceptor Sewer Project, CRS 5765. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent?
I was just excited to see that it was finally done.
Yes. Resolution 736 is a sheltering agreement for Transit Middle, CRS 5750. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 737 is the North Amherst Rec Center lighting upgrade, 5732. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 738 is the Clearfield Community Center lighting upgrade, CRS 5733. Any questions regarding that resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Resolution 739 is the sheltering agreement for Casey Middle, CRS 5768. Any questions regarding the resolution? Any reason to withhold it from consent? Communications 80 is a correspondence from Sean Hopkins Esquire regarding 2190 and 2220 Worley Drive. I'm going to recommend we receive this, refer to the town attorney and town planning department. Anybody else? Okay. Any reason not to do that via consent? Communication 81 is correspondence from Sean Hopkins Esquire regarding 4300 Millersport Highway. Any question? We recommend we receive this, refer this one to the town attorney and town planning department as well. Any reason not to do that via consent? Communication 82 is correspondence from Joe Vojtovich regarding sidewalks at 2365 Sweet Home Road. I recommend we receive this, referred to the town attorney, town planning department, and town highway department.
And Chris Schregel,
Okay. Town
engineering.
Engineering services and traffic and safety committee. Any reason not to do that via consent? Get all that? So we got attorney, planning, engineering services, highway, traffic safety. Communication 83 is a notice of claim for Progressive ASO Nicole M. Heckler versus Town of Amherst. I would recommend we receive this, refer to the town attorney. Any reason not to do that via consent? Communication 84 is a notice of petitions to review tax assessments. I would recommend we receive this and refer it to the town attorney as well. Any reason not to do that via consent? And communication 85 is summons and verified complaint of Bradley Ensminger versus the town of Amherst et al. Again, I would recommend we receive this, refer to the town attorney. Any reason not to do that via consent? We have an executive session to discuss contractual matters related to proposed acquisition, sales, or lease of real properties. Some of which are, all of which are inclusive of the Boulevard Mall, ACC, Gun Club, and Central Park. And then we also have a personnel related item related to an individual, and going to ask Bob, can you, and Zach, can you please come back for that one? Okay, we'll start with that. Thank you. I'm going to motion to adjourn to executive session.